I'm talking all day, every day.
Like different, like being a motivational speaker.
Yeah, it is. It's really different.
Here, pause.
Wow. Bro, we didn't go around for 3 minutes. Sneak. Okay. Okay.
Shout out.
Already in his phone.
Want to say stay out your phone this episode?
I'm sharing. Can I share the links?
One time.
Can I finish this? Like, come on. Like, how did y'all finish talking? Let's give it a shit.
You had a good mental health day?
I had an amazing mental health day.
I don't believe it.
I really did.
Not from what I heard earlier.
Wow.
We're not doing this. We're not starting this way.
I'm more about to come with the short jokes.
Hey.
No,
No,
not y'all. I'm talking about you.
Oh, you talking about
like the comments? Yeah. Why they got y'all on the high chair, man? I'm telling you, boy. They gonna come with it.
Yes, man.
They gonna come with it.
Man.
But yeah, we letting everybody come in. Then we'll start talking, start talking our shit. Let real shit.
100 times.
I copy that link, so now I'm about to.
What?
All right, shout outs.
Shout out to Dollars.
Hey, how could I ever forget?
No, it was a new play. Oh, shout out to Newberry.
Shout out to Newberry, shout out to Darlington, shout out.
Bear.
Hey, you see how you was like, shout out to Newberry.
We have to fill you in later. Shout out to Newberry.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Spartanburg, shout out to Orangeburg.
Shout out to Parks.
OB.
Shout out to Parks.
Definitely OB.
Orangeburg rough.
Yes, sir.
We got to speak on the bird. We got to speak on the Claflin state battle
Yeah, man.
over the years. We get into that though.
That's what I'm talking.
What's on your mind, T.S.Lo?
My mind is pretty blank at the moment. I'm ready to start conversing a
You
little
say you
bit.
shoot blanks at the moment.
Clearly, I'm thugging.
Let's talk about it.
Might be that dog water.
Boy, that ain't good.
Some research.
So I was about to share the link to Navy Federal.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
They about to go and shut your account down.
We-
You sharing links, but that payment ain't in there. What we doing?
Oh,
What we doing?
I just paid that. They gonna get their money.
Oh, man. Hold on. Let me jump on here real quick. Let me jump on here real quick. Let me see what we looking like. City girl?
The past 7 times we talked about that.
Here we go.
Let's talk about it. Man, you the biggest cat. You ended up 2019 big cat.
I'm the biggest cat?
Of 2019.
Oh, get the fuck out of
the
here.
end half.
Get the
You
fuck
did
out of
a
here.
whole lot of caps.
What did I cap on?
Let's talk about it.
What is a significant event I capped on?
Not a significant event.
Don't matter.
But
It ain't
talking
significant.
stuff up and then backing out.
Okay, I kept on City Girl a couple times. That's it.
A few times.
That's it.
That's not the only thing.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. So, okay.
Tislo.
Okay.
Tislo.
If you talk about it, do it. That's all I'm saying.
You done did some
So,
big. You done
Tizzy
did
said
some
he was
big.
back in the bird.
Let's really talk about it.
You done did some big capping, dog.
Let's talk about it.
Hold on, let me think. Let me think.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Let me think. Real done did some big capping.
Here we
Real
go.
about to spit a gem. I can
Real
feel
done
it.
did some big capping.
Huh?
You about to spit a gem.
Hey, Tizzy ain't took an
It's
L
been
on
a
you.
couple. It's been a couple
Tizzy
situations.
ain't took it. That nigga cross his leg. That nigga took an L on
Since
you.
most definitely MVP 2020. So far.
Like, let's talk. Like, Tizzy been here.
undisputed MVP of 2020 so far.
Wow.
How y'all feel about January 2020 so far?
Let's.
Hold. Damn, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got a special guest in the building. We got Rashad Myers in the building.
Shout out to Rashad. Can we get a hand clap? See, that's what we need. We gotta get
Well, we gotta get a fix.
Sound.
We definitely gotta get
Top 5 Elite City all time?
Well, we would
Top
have.
five.
We had the
Definitely.
fix.
Definitely top 5.
Definitely top 5 Lake City.
Minimum.
Maybe top 3. Definitely top 5 Lake City all time. Like Lake City
Legend.
legends.
Nah, man.
Nah,
Stop being humble.
nah. He humble. He humble.
That's a
He
normal guy,
humble.
man. Normal
Definitely
guy.
top
I
five.
appreciate y'all, man.
For sure. If we had our effects, we would have did some hand claps. We did some horns.
Well, Joe Budden.
Some cheering.
Butt clap.
We working.
She's working on it.
We working on that. We working on that.
First and foremost, thank you guys for having me, man. I'm more than grateful, and just the platform that you guys have created,
Appreciate it.
letting the people hear what they need to hear, man. I'm a big fan of your podcast and what you're doing. So big shout out to all of you guys.
For sure. Appreciate that.
And you ladies.
Shout out to the ladies in the building. They play a big part. Whether they know it or not. Whether they know it or not.
Thank you.
Nah, don't give no nigga no shout out. Don't play. I fuck with y'all. Y'all really
Say our
agree.
name.
Do y'all look? You look at Joe Budden show?
Just say my name.
I've seen, yeah.
So you know,
I've seen a couple
Park,
episodes.
like Park's the one that's like he don't really be on camera, but he always puts his
Right.
Park.
This might work.
But let's give it a shit.
That works though.
No.
It doesn't.
Not that.
Oh.
No, this one works.
Y'all
right
want to
here.
start it off? I guess we got to start it off. It's like the elephant in the room.
Just gonna get it over with.
We all got the we got the Lakers, we got the purple and gold. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, man.
Damn.
I ain't know about it. My feelings already.
Yeah, I couldn't take Jordan Zimmerman.
Definitely,
Yeah, I couldn't take KTN.
Definitely a
3
tragic
minutes, please.
and
If I can get
sad
you
loss.
ready.
Yeah,
Let's start off like
3
this.
minutes, please.
Let's start off like this. What were you doing when you found out, and what was your reaction?
When I found out, I was in Captain D's watching some anime, and I was like, "This is a hoax." And then I was like, "I don't want to believe it until like ESPN reported." And then I see the ESPN report. I took a nap because, yeah, I didn't want to believe that. Shout out to Captain D's.
What about you,
Yeah, I had just gotten home and you know, my girl called and she was like, you hear about Kobe dying? And I was like, what? I mean, it really surprised me. You know, the initial thought was like, that can't be true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And so she's like, yeah. And the first thing, you know, I do is turn on my phone and look. And I saw a couple people saying it, and then it was confirmed. Once it was confirmed by the major networks, man, I knew it was real. And so I just immediately just felt bad, man. It didn't really even feel real. It still doesn't.
What about you, Lizzo?
I was
Not
on-
Lizzo, but
Wow. Shout out to Lizzo. Shout out.
No,
no, we gonna let that go. But go ahead.
I was on the patio on the phone, with AirPods in, phone in my pocket. Something told me to check my phone. My sister texted me, my little sister, saying Kobe Bryant dead. So of course, you know,
Damn.
So I went to the first thing black people do, go to Facebook.
Right.
So I go to Facebook.
Yep.
It didn't even, like I said, it didn't even feel real till I really kind of just sat down and started watching CNN and stuff.
Yeah.
The ESPN reported that
Right.
shit hurt.
That was it after that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
it.
I was at work. It's probably like what 2 something, about 2 o'clock, and you know I constantly just reload my Instagram feed,
Right.
see what's going on. So I go to reload it. Top story, and DJ Academics posted it, but it was he took it from TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant dead in a helicopter crash, and I'm like, I didn't even I didn't want to believe it, but I kind of knew it was true off the bat because, like, usually when TMZ report a death, that shit kind of real. But like I just clicked off of that first, and I just reloaded that shit again, read it again. And I was like, damn, Kobe, like that nigga, like a hero, you know what I'm saying? Like a superhero. Like you don't expect him to die, like you know, especially at that young, and then
41.
like from a helicopter crash. That shit just didn't sit real. It didn't sit well with my spirit.
Shout out to that spirit.
And then the fucking icing on the cake, like
The
I
daughter.
found out hours later the daughter.
That would really
And,
took me.
and possibly Rick Fox too.
That's what really took me over.
And I'm like,
Like this is spreading like wildfire.
I don't have bad mental health days, but Sunday I had a
that
bad
was
mental
Sunday
health.
was a bad
I'm
mental
sorry.
health day.
Right.
Man.
I wasn't feeling it.
It just kind of, I think it put everybody in a bad mood, just kind of dampen your spirits, man. Like you said, Kobe was almost bigger than life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just one of those guys. Nobody lives forever, but he's the kind of guy, you know, you don't expect him to die as young as he did. You at least think he's gonna, you know, live for a long time and continue to be, you know, the great person that he is. And so I think for him to leave so early, you know, it was more shocking than anything. And then for his daughter to die along with him,
Heartbreaking.
definitely heartbreaking, tragic.
Heartbreaking. And then also the other family, like it was like a whole family. It was a
Yeah,
husband,
Others as well.
wife, and daughter
Right.
on there. Like whole family, just tragic.
I think I was sad for a couple of days until like
I'm still sad.
I think I'm mad now because like the conspiracy theories.
I don't even read them no more. I can't even click on them.
Oh my god!
How y'all feel about them? How y'all feel about the conspiracy theories? Man?
I don't pay it any attention, man. Just people wanting attention.
They
Just-
won't
it's
let people
crazy stuff,
sleep.
man. Yeah. And then for them people to include LeBron in it, man, and I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh,
I ain't saw that one.
Yeah, people blaming LeBron, and because he had just passed Kobe in scoring the night before, and saying it was a conspiracy theory with Bron being the reason why and Kobe being a sacrifice. It was all kind of crazy stuff. But I heard it on the radio. I didn't pay it any attention, man. It's craziness.
That's the world we live in today.
Right. I wasn't surprised because, like you said, everything is Illuminati or all this crazy stuff. But I don't pay it any attention, man.
It's just some people are just so woke, like they just need to take a nap.
Beyond,
Like,
beyond woke.
Just like
What Umar was saying? What Dr. Umar was saying? We ain't gotta say it too long, but this is what we say.
he said.
What was he saying?
Kobe, like verbatim, he was like Kobe fighting a big pharmaceutical company over the name of Black Mamba. Kobe fight a big pharmaceutical company over the name Black Mamba.
Whole bunch of wish wash.
And
That's it.
they had to kill him.
Pharmaceutical company killed Kobe.
Pharmaceutical company killed him.
Oh man.
And how many other people?
Right.
Crazy, it's crazy. Like, listen to Born Center and Illuminati on Born Center when J. Cole said, "Young black millionaire, rich white billionaire." Like, why? Like, you think a billionaire, if they are Illuminati sacrifice people, they never gonna care about a millionaire?
Right, they're beneath them lines.
That bothers me. Like, they won't let people sleep.
White
But
supremacists.
I would say this. I would say this. I mean, the legacy he left.
It's bigger than basketball.
For sure. He gonna always be remembered. He'll never truly die. And the Mamba mentality, I don't know, that kind of
See you in the gym with the hashtag.
yeah, that kind of did something for me, man. Cause like Kobe went hard, bro. Like Kobe is the definition of like hard work, dedication, discipline, and I'm definitely taking some of that in. I'm gonna use that to fuel my fire to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. For me, I definitely feel what you're saying because I'm actually a Celtics fan, so I wasn't the biggest. I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan.
I mean, I'm a Bulls fan. Like, I wasn't a Kobe fan.
But
I respected Kobe.
and that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
We've had so many. If you're a Celtics fan, the Lakers were our rivals. We had so many, battles with them in the finals and whatnot. But for me, like you said, I didn't really like him as a player, but I always respected him because no matter what, I know Kobe was gonna come at you with all he had, and he was that guy, man. He was gonna give it all he had. He was gonna leave it all on the court, and more so than anything, it was the Mamba mentality. Just
That's real.
to give it all you got, man. And he was definitely that guy, man. And I feel like you can take that with you in all aspects of life. You don't even have to be a sports fan or a basketball guy.
Right.
But it's just that mentality to whatever you do, be the best at it and go at it. Work hard, never give up, persevere, and that's what it's about for me. So I think that's why it hit so many people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It hit everybody. Man. It hit everybody, man.
That shit hurt.
Yeah.
That shit really hurt.
And then I ain't been looking at TV. They say anything about the funeral or anything like that?
I haven't seen anything about it yet.
I've been trying to get bereavement leave.
Right.
I'm sick.
His wife just posted her response yesterday.
Yeah.
And she waited a while, which of course, it takes a while to even gather yourself and come up with the words to respond. But like you said, to lose a husband and a daughter, man, I can't imagine how she felt. And I think that's the thing about it, why it affected so many people, because people of all walks of life could, I think, identify with it. You know what I'm saying? You have sports fans who came to see Kobe and see him throughout his career, and they knew of his greatness on the court. But you also had parents who could also understand, losing not only a husband but a child. We want to see, well, not see, but we want it to be where our kids bury us, right? If you're a parent.
Right.
But to have to bury a child and a husband, people can understand it. And then the whole girl dad thing. He not only was a great basketball player and a great ambassador, but he was a great
father, man.
and that showed, and so men with girls, I mean, can identify with them as well. And I think it affected so many people in so many different ways, and that's why you saw the response. Kobe was gonna get love regardless, but it affected so many other people because I think they could relate to it in many different ways. So
Now another thing is, Shirley, man, you could be gone just like that.
just like that.
Every time you walk out the house, it could be your day.
Right.
You never really know. That's the
That's
crazy
why
part about it.
we was talking about earlier
Nobody's
before it started. Like we talking about it, like no, I hit you up earlier. Like you give people their flowers while they can still smell.
Facts.
I'm a big firm believer in that. Like everybody know, like, hey man, I appreciate you. Like, I love me some y'all. You know what I'm saying? Parks.
Some people we look at as bigger than life, and he was one of those people. And so we know that nobody lives forever, but again, we don't expect them to just
Nah,
die.
not Kobe.
You know what I mean? Not Kobe. You know,
Yeah.
not him. And so to see one of the biggest people in the world,
And then we like grew up watching him.
right?
Right. Our era,
That's
like,
the thing.
Like,
grew up watching.
since we was kids, we was watching him, bro.
Yeah, we caught the
Right.
tail end of Jordan, but we watched all.
Like
the
we
Kobe.
watch his whole.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, man.
I tell my kids that all the time, and it's so amazing. Watching my students, a lot of them wear Jordans. And so I tell them, I say, it's amazing to see Jordan's influence because y'all
They
actually
ain't even
never
seen him
saw
play.
him play.
Never.
Because he retired
Not even the
before,
Wizards.
before y'all were even born.
Mm-hmm.
But his influence has them still wearing his sneakers.
Mhm.
And so, but to think about Kobe actually seeing him through his career, and actually it's different to know of a person. They know of Jordan and his
Right.
greatness, but
To grow
we
with
saw it to see it and grow it. And I actually saw him in a game play, like, you know, when he came to play the Hornets a few years ago. I went to it. So to see it and to know it is a different thing. You know what I mean? And so I think that's why we all can relate to Kobe, man. He was amazing, man, in so many ways.
All right, last question on this topic, guys. Kobe with the fro, Kobe out of here. Who y'all got? Game 1-on-1 against each other.
Kobe with the low cut.
Yeah, I like the mature Kobe. 24.
Me too.
I don't know. That Kobe with that fro been rough.
Season.
That Kobe with that fro been. whew.
But I think the Kobe with the low cut just had a killer instinct,
Right.
bro.
That's why I was going to go.
That what it
Young
was?
Kobe was
He
good.
rough. Yeah.
I saw Kobe mature. Once he cut his hair and he got that low, he
was
became
serious,
an
like-
assassin. Then he
Mhm.
became a real cold-blooded killer, man.
Mm.
His game evolved so much, and you can see that look in his eye, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Where do y'all rank Kobe in the top 5? Well, I didn't even. Maybe he might not be in the top 5.
Hey, so
Where do y'all rank him among
Yeah,
the
let's
best?
just talk. Nobody get mad.
No.
So Sean came through.
No.
With a
We
blessing.
gotta
With a
give him
blessing.
shit.
I
We
mean,
gonna
let's
talk.
get-
We
get
gonna
back
talk
on-
about that. We gonna talk about that.
Fuck with you.
Gotta tap that ass.
He's the second best shooting guard of all time.
I can respect that.
I asked you that.
He's the second best.
I asked you
I
that.
can't give.
Where you rank him top 5?
Kobe's my favorite player ever. Of course, I'm going to be biased.
Kobe's top 5.
he's definitely top 5.
You'll be amazed at a lot of people's top 5 lists that won't include Kobe.
Randomly,
Yeah,
no
you're
order.
right.
No order.
And I think it depends on how old you are and who you saw play.
Yeah.
Because this is a funny thing. It depends on what you judge greatness by.
Right.
If you judge greatness by championships, Bill Russell has what 11,
11.
right? Or do you judge it by
Mm-hmm.
how many
Stats,
points you average?
right.
Right, stats. How many points you average, or how many rebounds you average? I mean, or do you judge it by leadership? Because there were other guys who were just as good in terms of leadership.
Because some people don't even put Kobe as the
Right.
best Laker ever. And that kills me.
Right.
But I respect that because
And that's a long list.
they
of
grew up in
good
the
Lakers.
80s, Magic Johnson. I
Right.
respect that. But
Yeah,
hey, people got their own little criteria what they go by. But
right.
me,
And so-
I'm putting B. I ain't care what y'all say.
I think he's definitely top 5 in my book. That whole top 5, man, it's almost like 1A, 1B. You can put so many people here and there just depending on how you look at it. So,
I give him number 2. Because y'all didn't want to give him exact number.
He's top. I mean, like no order or nothing. You gotta put Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
A lot of people put who is it? What
Well,
Chamberlain
right.
number 1? A lot of people
It's a
put
big
Will
deal.
number 1.
And you can put Kareem.
right, and I was going to say
Or
Kareem.
Magic.
People definitely not Magic.
Kareem's still number 1 in scoring all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, do you look at scoring? Do you look at
There's so many different
championships?
aspects.
Right, there's so many different aspects of it.
I don't want to make nobody mad.
Go ahead and make 'em mad.
But I just look at the time. Okay, the time. the time when
Yeah.
Kareem played.
Right.
He was basically by himself, huh? That's what you basically saying.
It's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
time.
the
It's
era.
a the era. It's a different
Different
time.
type
It's a
of
different
game.
time.
Right,
I
right.
really don't think the competition was as stiff as
Hey, I'm gonna be honest.
as it was
But
when.
at the same time,
And
And then the advantages he had, like, come on.
And maybe it wasn't. That's a good point. But you also got to look at this. Now we live in the 3-ball era, where back then they didn't have a 3-point shot. So
That's
those
what
are
I
all
said.
tools, and you got to think like it's easy for guys like Steph to rack up points because you're getting an extra point. And granted, that shot is more difficult to make, but it's easier to inflate stats because you got the 3-point shot now, and guys shoot it at a higher clip.
Let's talk about it.
But you know, just kind of depends. Then the game was more physical back then.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Right
Now
now
you
it's
can't
more
do
physical.
shit.
Now they
Now
call
they
it
play half defense.
Yeah,
they would get the ball back from the offensive position.
call a foul for anything, man. Now.
I'm gonna tell you, if Jordan was in this era right here, Jordan, boy, we ain't gonna talk about that.
What up?
All right,
You gotta say some food.
Okay, hold on. One more basketball
There
thing
we go.
before we get to the shits.
Jordan would kill in this era.
Who win in this year?
Lakers.
That's tough.
Will it be okay? Do the Lakers feel like the Lakers got a lot of pressure on? Like if they don't pull this off,
I don't think like they have any pressure.
Because they were technically almost the favorites before the year started anyway.
but what if they don't pull it
I
off?
mean,
Damn! Warner don't start.
I thought Warren was playing.
So like, oh
man.
you know that whole career.
Bumper clock.
I'm just saying, you think they'll get a lot of backlash? You know how people are.
Yeah.
Like, damn, y'all supposed to represent for Kobe. You know how niggas. Y'all
Right.
supposed to represent for Kobe. Y'all couldn't pull it off. Man, y'all
That's what I was
niggas.
thinking.
Y'all, I feel like it's gonna be something. If they don't pull it off, I feel like that's how it be.
That's how. I don't know.
Brian said he was gonna hold it down for him, so maybe he can will them to
That'd be a great
to
story.
victory. That would be a great story.
Yeah.
You know, you got Giannis in the East, man, and you got the West is always stacked, man. There's so
Hey,
many
that East
teams.
ain't making no noise.
It's not, but I mean, sometimes
Never
sleeper
know.
team, yeah, you never know.
It's like the
Sleeper
Celtics.
teams
They-
come from the
Hey, man,
Rockets last year.
I wasn't even gonna bring up my
The
boys, but
Raptors
yeah,
still playing
Rock-
decent with no Kawhi. I mean, it's crazy.
Siakam's balling, doing
Clippers.
his
Don't
thing.
forget about the Clippers.
Right.
Ah, man.
And actually, the Lakers haven't beaten the Clippers yet this year. I think they
Talk
were
about
0-2. 0-2.
Yeah,
They were
both times
going to
they
play
hit
the
low,
other day,
yeah.
but they canceled the game, I think. So,
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Kobe.
definitely.
His legacy will definitely live on
Definitely.
forever. Mama mentality.
All right, here we go.
Mama mentality.
Hurry up.
All right. Let's give it the shits.
I had a bad day.
What's on y'all mind? Y'all had a good mental health week this week?
Yes.
Wow, you sound ecstatic.
I'm
Let
surprised.
me ask you a question, Rashad. Let me ask you a question.
Oh shit. Go ahead. So you go. So I can ask you a question. Let's start. Let's get with the shits.
I'm pretty sure, not to get all up in your business, I'm pretty sure you done had a couple situationships in your day, like in your past.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you and a female start talking, and y'all establish in the beginning, hey,
We ask this like every month.
we asked him this. We have asked him this. Everybody got a different view on it.
We definitely.
Y'all establish in the beginning. This is this.
Right.
This all it's gonna be.
Right.
Blah
That's
blah
all.
blah.
Right.
Time goes by. And
Ugly.
like the female start turning up on you. How do you
Turning up like she starting to like you.
like
starting to
she
feel
started
you.
to like you, but
Yeah.
she also getting upset because
You ain't
you're
quite
not
able to
you're
tie
not
yet.
feeling the same
Yeah,
way.
you're
You
not
ain't
reciprocating.
got-
Gotcha. Yeah.
What's your views on this, man?
Views.
That's all I.
Because from the talks I've had with females, they feel like even though it's been established in the beginning,
Right.
It's the action.
the actions
Right.
make it different
Right.
somehow, some way. Even though
Versus the contract.
Even though
Right.
the shit
What's someone gonna
Right.
say?
I swear you took the word out of my. I probably took the
even
word out
though
of my
the
hand.
shit done been laid down in the beginning.
We on
should
the
it-
road.
Should it matter? I mean, do the actions really matter?
They
If the
definitely
shit's
should.
been laid down?
Action, definitely.
Actions
The
speak louder
the
than
actions shouldn't matter, but sometimes we so great at what we do. When we hit it with,
Talk about it.
they can't handle it.
Salt Lake City.
It's to another level, man. And so that part you can't blame us for. But at the same time, I truly feel like this. All jokes aside, man. Once you talk in the beginning and you establish, okay, this is what it's gonna be, and you know they can't get mad because if she agrees to it, and it's like, okay, well, I understand how this is going. You've been and see what happens is they get mad at us when we lie. But when we don't, and we tell them the truth from the get go, you know, they can't get mad because it's a verbal agreement. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's just unfortunate. You know, a lot of times they do kind of catch feelings and feel like they need that commitment, but at the same time, in my opinion, they can't get mad because you established what it was from the get go. So it ain't like you lying to her. You know, she has a choice to either accept it or to not accept it. You can say, okay, I'm cool with it, or this ain't just not what I'm looking for, and I'm gonna go the other way.
But you taking me down raw.
You
spending money on me. Wow. You checking on me. Wow. I mean,
She signed up for it.
at the end of the day,
It is what it is.
at the end of the day.
Let's say hypothetically.
But honestly, now,
Let's say
in defense of women, and you know, like I see where they're coming from, but again, you just kind of got to know what you're getting into. You know what I mean?
Parts.
Alright, I'm gonna fuck with you.
That's like Verizon. That's like you signed a contract with Verizon. You signed a 2-year contract with Verizon.
Verizon really that expensive?
20 gigs. That's all you get. As soon as you get up that 20,
And
start slowing down.
Verizon might throw you a couple free gigs for every.
I didn't
They're
know.
gonna give you a couple.
They trying to tell me 4 gigs
For like
$200. I'm like, is a no for me, dog.
Now all of a sudden you want to break the contract.
Yeah. Contract is a contract.
Contract is a contract. You agreed.
Things change.
That's a binding
feelings
agreement.
change.
She said
Never
things
thought the
change, feelings
circumstances
change.
would have changed.
That's a fact.
Yeah, she
Nino cancel it.
It ain't always on women. I feel no change sometimes.
right. They do. The thing
But
is,
y'all ain't gonna
I'll
wanna
tell you
admit
what
it.
I've learned over life. I've learned. I just thought about this the other day. Sometimes you have to think with your brain and not necessarily with your heart. So sometimes we all have human emotions. We all have feelings, but these days, you know, either you're gonna do or you're gonna get done. And it's like, you know,
That's crazy.
if you ain't careful, you thinking with your heart and trying to go with your heart, people, you know, screw you over. So I mean, you got to be smart sometimes, no matter what your heart feels.
You listen to this OG right here, bro?
There's been times I've kind of some of the worst decisions I've made in relationships in my life. I listen to my heart.
And
I
then,
promise you.
And then what happened? You got to play some Confessions of Chapter 5 after.
Right, that's right.
Fool up.
Yeah, man. And so sometimes you got to do what's best for you, even though it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. And it's a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? The smart thing, not necessarily, you know, the heartfelt thing. You know.
Preach.
It sounds selfish. You gotta put yourself first sometimes.
Right.
You gotta look out for
Right.
yourself.
Look out for you.
You got to.
That's
Really be
one of the
catching
biggest
feelings.
lessons I've learned in life.
Yeah,
You gotta look out for
yourself.
you. Right. I've looked out for other people and, you know, other females, and then at the end of the day, you know, she didn't have my best interest at hand. It was like, hey, that was that, and this is now, and you know, and we're moving on. But again, those are life lessons, man. That stuff from, you know, years back. You know, you learn from it, you grow through it.
Especially we got trust issues. Especially we got trust issues. Especially we got trust issues. Like. All right. Got a question. I think we can. This is gonna be a short one tonight. What do you think, Paul? I said pause.
Go ahead with the question, bro.
All right. So obviously you're proud Capitol, right?
Yeah, man.
How you feel about the Boozy situation? Let's talk about it. He gonna be here Saturday. You and your boys, y'all gonna pull up on him. Like, how you feel about it? Like, my opinion, I'm not Greek or anything like that. My opinion is if he bought it from the store, like, it should be okay. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking that?
Nah, it's not okay.
It's not okay?
Only
Okay.
because the letters mean something.
Okay.
It's okay for someone to purchase it, but it's not okay for him to wear it if he didn't earn the letters. And there's a whole process that goes along with it. And like I use the word earn, you gotta earn it. It's not something that's just given. So somebody can buy from a Greek paraphernalia store. Anybody can buy it, but to wear it and to knowingly wear it is a different thing. You know what I'm saying? And so
So it's like false claiming.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then the crazy thing is his brothers are new.
Really?
And his brother, right?
Yeah. And
So
so
they didn't say anything?
I'm almost 100% sure he knew. But then again, it's Boosie. Boosie ain't, he ain't afraid of nothing. I mean, it was
I mean,
it was funny to me.
I didn't really
take
feel some type of way.
Nah, I didn't really take
A lot of people
offense
did.
to it, man. It was comedy, man. It was funny to me. I was looking at his videos, cracking up. At first, it was almost, it came off almost disrespectful or whatever, just to see him wearing it. But then when he started posting other videos and, you saw the backstory behind it, then it was more acceptable. And I use that term as not necessarily acceptable, but I understood it better. And so to see him kind of turn around at the end and kind of throw some money out there and say, you know what, look, we're going to give $6,000 to whoever comes up with the best, stroll or, whatever. And so
See,
he
they ain't
kind
said that.
of,
Nobody ever said
He didn't
that.
have to do that, but he did
he,
it.
right. And so to me, he turned around at the end
No.
and made it something positive.
One of
You know
his
what I mean?
songs, y'all do one of y'all.
Yeah, Wipe Me
Strong.
Down. Right.
I personally.
I
thought y'all
soul
were
for
trying to
soul.
just wait-
Okay,
Okay,
soul
I'll
for
explain that.
soul.
Because he came out with a video saying, since y'all, stroll to my song, you shimmy me to my song, y'all got to teach me how to do it. Which I was all cool with that. Like, cool with that. Because we do kind of, we stroll to the song. But at the same time, that's kind of like the chance you take when you're an artist now, because you put your music out like that, it's gonna go everywhere, and people are gonna dance to it. People are gonna, do their thing to it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he can wear the letters, because the story behind the letters is a totally different thing. You know what I mean? That's like if you put a song out and you say you want people to listen to it. I'm pretty sure you want it to get out there and you want people to love it and enjoy it. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do something that's sacred to someone else. And the sacred part of it is, I think, what kind of rub people the wrong way. But I wasn't like super offended by it or anything. It was a little confusing.
Were
at
any of
first.
your bros like really disrespected about it?
We somebody.
You got to call names
Some
out.
people were, but at the same time, I'm grown. I pledge those 6. I'm an old head now. You know what I mean? So I've been in it for a while. So it takes a lot to upset me when it comes to that, man. Kind of laid back, but it's Boosie. Boosie, wow, man. If you follow Boosie, that's
He gonna do what he
yeah,
want.
right. I mean, he's gonna do what he wants to, man. So
You don't foresee anything happening to him?
nah, ain't nobody.
Nah, that shit dead now.
They said now. I heard that a OG kind of checked him at the game. He was at a Hawks game at the time, and person or two checking him. But right, I mean, he's still Boosie, man.
I mean, ain't too much
this
you
guy didn't.
want
This
to come out
guy
of a maniac.
from the hood, beat him murder charge. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Now, no.
He did.
I will
time.
say this now. There are some nukes that really about their life now.
Right. Just
Some
because you're in a
guys-
fraternity don't mean you
so
ain't
you
live a
can't,
life. You know what I'm saying?
you can't just, there's certain places where if he would have went, it would have really been a problem. Like, but at the same time, I think him getting knowledge about the situation, kind of made it better. He turned it around at the end and made it something positive. So I was all cool with it.
I really think that all that matters, like getting knowledge about it. So,
Right. And I think he had some, but at the same time, it brought so much more attention to him. It was, I don't want to call it a publicity stunt, but it actually, put him in the limelight. And so,
I really don't even think he was trying to get attention.
yeah, he
I
probably
really,
wasn't.
Like,
but,
I really think the way Boosie is, that he just wanted a red shirt.
yeah, man.
He
Yeah,
was
but
like,
I'm
fuck
weird.
it. He was like, fuck it, that
And
shit
then a
hard.
lot of people were saying, well, maybe he thought it was the Kappa brand. There's a brand called Kappa as well, which is
Yeah.
totally different. But he,
I
he knew.
wondered about that.
He kind of knew.
Like brand that's name cap.
Yeah. He said and they rap sold it to him. Small and Arab sold it to him, and but if he didn't know,
That's wrong.
now he knows.
Boosie,
Right.
I got it for you.
Hey, that's so.
You want
It was
change?
funny, man.
You want change to go with
man. Boosie's pure comedy, man. You don't follow Boosie, follow Boosie, man.
Oh man, you
That
gotta
boy
follow
is
Boosie, bro. Boosie gonna have you rolling.
He even spoke on the
man.
Kobe situation, saying that he thinks that the NBA should make Kobe the new logo.
We already said
And
that.
I heard
it'll be a
like
silhouette,
they
but-
looking into it too.
Yeah,
They
they
said Jerry West
They said they
actually
gonna do it.
kind of gave his approval, but I doubt if they do it. That's a long shot. But
Because Jerry West ain't getting no money from it, so therefore if Kobe was to be the logo, it would have to be some kind of compensation they would have to pay for it. So Why change something you have to pay for?
Well, Jay West never wanted to be the logo.
He did.
And
You don't want no
the
money
thing
from me?
is, they can't officially say that it's him. It's like
Right,
a
it's a
silhouette.
silhouette.
Because if they were to say this is actually Jerry, everybody knows it is. But if they were to the NBA would actually come out and say it's him, then they have to compensate him for using his image and his likeness.
Right.
And so that's a whole nother can of worms. And so you know, that's why they don't officially come out and say it.
What motivates you every morning?
God, first and foremost.
Oh,
God.
Talk
talk about it.
I'm here because of God, and that lets me know there's a purpose for my life. I truly believe there's not one person on this earth that's not here for a reason. Now, whether you tapped into your purpose and whether you found out your reason yet is a totally different thing. You know, but I feel like everybody has a gift. Everybody's good at something, no matter what it is, and everybody has a purpose for being here. It's just that some people don't find it until it's too late, or either they never really truly tap into it. They don't meet that person that inspires them enough to help them figure out their why. But I feel like everybody has a why. So that's the first thing. Second of all, you know, my family, my son. And I was raised in a. He's seven. And so he motivates me every day. To see a little you, man, is amazing. And it's not so much that it's about me. It's not me at all. But to know that you'll have somebody who will leave, you know, who you'll leave on this earth and continue your legacy, to me is bigger than anything. Somebody with the same blood, you know, pumping through their veins as you know. And so parenthood, fatherhood especially, is so big to me. And so I think people use it loosely and it's like a cliche, but I literally do what I do for my son and for my family. I wouldn't be here without my family. My whole family. I was born into a very close knit family, man, and you know, not everybody has that, but I'm blessed by God to know that, you know, not just my sibling, because I have one brother, but you know, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, you know, my
It's like 800 of y'all.
rest in peace. It is. And guess what?
It's
That's
really
a
like
blessing.
800, but it's like y'all real
That's a
close.
blessing. You would be amazed how many people have told me, I wish my family was big like that. I wish my family was that close knit. You know, some people actually, when they lose relatives and their family like dies out, and they really don't have anybody else to continue their family name, and so to, you know,
But y'all hold it down. Y'all keep it together.
and we tried, man, but that was only because of, you know, my people that came before me, you know, my relatives, my ancestors, and so that's a blessing, and so I'm grateful for that, and not just them, the people around me. I have a very tight knit circle, but at the same time, I'm inspired by people that I see every day. Like, I'm proud to be from Lake City. I ride into
Shout out Lake City.
yeah, and there's a lot going on in Lake City right now, but and whether it be good or bad, I'm proud of where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, there's so much positive things that go on that people don't even really hear about. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care if I was, you know, raised on a dirt road, I'd be proud of, because that's where you from. That's who you are. And so Lake City raised me. And right. And no matter where I go, I tell people about Lake City, even if they don't know where it's from. You know where Florence is? You know Columbia is?
You know Myrtle Beach?
Right,
Yeah,
they always
yeah.
right. And so
I know where King Street is.
right. But those things
People know what
motivate
King
me
Street
every
is.
day.
I don't know why.
You know Lake City. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hey,
Shout out
I've
King
met a
Street.
couple people like that.
Man, never mind. Don't shout out King
But let
Street.
me ask you this, man. Let's see your opinion on this. You graduated college.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
My little leg dropped in a minute.
I thought you don't use the You get this shit. Alright, Claflin alumni.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How do you feel when you see posts like this? And I've been seeing a lot of posts like these lately.
Let's see.
You need 0 degrees to be a business owner, but you need a degree to work for a business. How do you feel when you see like it's kind of like they bashing
Right.
people for going to
Right.
school and getting a higher education?
I would never ever bash anybody for bettering themselves and getting higher education. That's always a good thing. No
Let's
matter
talk
where
about
you
it.
go, if you're taking your education to the next level and you're learning and you're beginning to master your craft, that's always a good thing. Now, there are some people who may think, you know, I don't have to take that route. I can get to where I need to be without even doing that. And so if that's their thing, that's their prerogative and it works for them, then cool. But everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different way. So I say, just be respectful to everybody and kind of appreciate them for their own way. But for me, college was the best experience of my life. Like,
And that's the
adulting
main
is
thing.
real, man.
That's the main thing. A lot
Shout
of
to
people,
Orangeburg.
a lot
Yeah,
of
shout
Shout
out
to
to
Orangeburg.
Lord. A lot of people, you know, they forget about that part. It's the experience.
It's the experience.
It's the networking.
Right.
It's the people you
Meeting
meet.
people from all
Relationships.
over.
You said the correct word. It's
Yeah,
the
network.
experience.
Yeah.
And so, college was the best experience for me in my life because I learned so much in college. I actually became a man. I learned what it's like to, you know, to meet new people from different walks of life. Not just people. When you're in high school, you know people from your town or your area, maybe a couple cities outside. But when you go to college, you meet people from not only just other cities in your state, you meet people from
All over
other
the world.
states in the country and people from all around the world. And so you meet people, you develop friendships and relationships, and a lot of those people you take with you for life. And it's people I met in college who I'm still cool with to this day. And not just that, you meet people who grind at a different level and who bring to the table a different expertise. So everybody's good at something, like I said earlier. And so I met so many talented and creative people, man, from Claflin. Shout out to Claflin. Very
Shout out to
underrated.
Claflin.
We don't get the credit we deserve, but a very good school. Shout out to Claflin.
Shout out to my little cousin Morgan. She at Claflin right now. Shout out
No
to
doubt.
Claflin.
But to me, again, I wouldn't say I don't like the bashing, but at the same time, if you're let's say you went to college and you didn't finish, and people label you as a dropout. There's dropouts who are billionaires
Right now.
and millionaires right now. So if that works for them, then that's cool too. But everybody has a different way. Back in the day, getting a trade was the thing to do. It's still
But- and nothing wrong with
right. That's what I was about to say. Still, that's kind of becoming popular again. Getting a trade because everybody has what now? A side hustle. Everybody got a side hustle. You know what I'm saying?
You should be a motivational speaker.
Right,
You
so-
already are.
Now, he been
Yeah,
speaking.
I know what I said.
I remember Rashad used to do
Yeah,
the
man.
children's message.
Yeah.
When we was at Wesley, he used to
Right,
kill
right,
it too.
right.
Like you been, that's a
Yeah.
talent. That's a talent I ain't got. Like I get up in front of people and I rap. Like I can do my music. and
You rapping,
That's
But
your talent.
You rapping.
Like just speaking. I ain't really that
Y'all
good.
killed us.
I know this is a side note, but shout out to Rashad. Me and Shelton used to be a little Kappa parties back in the day.
Sean got y'all in,
I remember flashback.
Sean got y'all in.
know, man.
I remember.
Yeah, man. No doubt.
Rough.
I need some
They had braids back then.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Rough.
little sample.
Tizzy jumped in the stroll line.
Nah.
It's not.
Second
Do better.
You ever seen? I don't know if you can speak up this night, but you ever seen someone that's not a Kappa strolling or doing the shimmy in a club?
Maybe
I've
just
seen
mocking
it a time or two,
having
yeah.
fun.
And you get
Chris
approached
Brown,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Get approached real quick. That's and again, you have to be a noob to understand. There's a difference between a noob and a Kappa now. But
Can you?
Yeah. No. Well, I can't go too deep into
Okay,
it, but I mean that's
understand.
common knowledge.
Understand.
Yeah, that has happened a time or two, man. And it's never really a pleasant thing. It's not like we're gonna really just jump on somebody, but they at least have to get the knowledge and know, nah, that's not cool to do. You know what I mean? We call him a perpetrator. You know, we say perp for short. Yeah, it just goes back to what I said.
I saw a dude.
You gotta earn that.
Check one time.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I think we
again,
talked about this
and
before.
again, depending on where you are, it can be rough, man.
Yeah.
In the Berg, it can be rough. It can be rough, man. But
How was it? Going to school in the Berg? Going to Claflin in the Berg?
I loved it.
How was it? How was the? What years were you at Claflin?
I was at Claflin from 2004 to 2009.
How was it? Going to Claflin, have a state right next to you.
Oh man.
For me, it was like the best of both worlds, man. People called us a little more
Y'all
reserved,
bougie.
right?
They say Claflin
Right, a little more
bougie.
reserved than the
Across that
folks at
gate.
state.
Oh, man.
But you know, we got our work first, man. We made sure we
got
were
their
scholars. We were scholars before anything. But you know, we were cool people too, man. And so we got what we wanted at Claflin. But at the same time, if there was a party across the gate, or if there, football game, any other activity, we could go there. So it's like you got the best of both worlds. Now, don't get me wrong, Claflin party too now. We party too. You know, we always knew how to have a good time, and so that was never an issue.
Was it hard getting work done with all that?
No, you just had to be. It's just like
It's
anything
okay,
else. You had to be
but-
focused.
yeah, yeah.
Now it's hard because you gotta think.
Party every night.
And I'm gonna say this: there's no better Greek life than HBCU Greek life. There's nothing against PWI. I love PWI. PWI for grad school. But at the same time, it's nothing like HBCU Greek life. It's just a different experience, and I've seen both. You know what I mean? But you know, and so you got the HBC, you got the Greek life scene, and you know you got athletes, and you know I started off running track, and so I had a little bit of both. But you have, you know, your people who kind of excel in other things, whether it be a club or it be you know, a social type club or whatever. But it's so much going on, and all of it's good stuff, man. But before you do anything, you got to make sure you get your grades so you're not back at the house. You know?
Straight up.
So that's the most important thing. So I tried my best to stay focused. Wasn't always easy, but
Yeah, it's a lot
I
of
made it
temptation. A lot of temptation, bro.
yeah,
Shout out.
definitely.
I remember a couple times back then when I went to the, like 07, 08, when I went to the Berg to visit for the weekend, I didn't
Down
want to
to
come
the
back.
Bird, man.
I did not want to come
Crazy.
back, bro.
You got Claflin, you got Stade, and so, you know, just to bring it together, man, it was always a beautiful thing.
Take me back to 08.
Yeah,
Life was great.
What's your views on the you know, Lake City and the things that been going on lately? A lot of violence. I mean, it seems like I don't want to jinx it. It seems like things have calmed down lately within the past month or so. But it was hot and heavy, you know.
yeah. Thank God for
Closing
that,
out
man.
2019, you know.
Thank God for that. It's just been unfortunate to kind of see it. First and foremost, like I said before, I love Lake City, man. I always will. Still wear my class ring to this day, man. Proudly, you know what I'm saying? I bleed blue and gold. And so it was unfortunate to see young people killing each other and, you know, kind of, and hurting each other and just the violence. Because that's never, and I feel like, and I don't know per se, you know, exactly where all of it stems from, but at the same time, I always feel like there's a better way. Let's sit down at the table and talk about it. Let's hash out our differences, you know what I mean? And if you can't do that, then, you know, just,
Go to a boxing ring.
you know, back in the day, it was, you know, you squared up and you
Right,
fought
you
and
lose.
somebody won and somebody lose and somebody lost and then
It's always
It
in
was
the
over.
projects though. You always fight the projects.
and maybe y'all were friends, you know, a week or two later. But even if you didn't, you respected each other, or at least one person respected the other one because they did what they had to do. But we're living in a different age and a different.
That's all the
time,
fights
so,
I got in KP. All the fights I got.
Matthew was wrong right after high school. Nah, no fight going. You better go
But
home.
you know, just to see,
Better get
I
out
just
the
pray
way,
for
man.
all of our young brothers, man. I want to see young men and women do well because there's a lot of talent and a lot of promise in Lake City. I know because I teach these kids every day, and there's so much potential, and we just have to keep those kids together and to get everybody to love each other. That's the biggest thing. It sounds so cliche, but man, like the old saying, can everybody just get along?
Right.
That's what I hope for our people because we can come together and do something great in Lake City if we were to, you know, try and put our differences aside. But it takes the renewing of your mind and it takes you thinking differently.
Really?
And I think that's the part that we have to get to, like thinking differently.
A
You know
renaissance.
what I mean? Right. You know, let's not hurt each other. Let's not kill each other. Let's come together for something positive and something that'll help all of us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we want people to see Lake City in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? And so because we have potential and there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. It's overshadowed by some of the violence and foolishness. But I love everybody from Lake City, man. I nothing but love in my heart for people. So I just hope that we can continue to do what we do and be positive. You know what I mean?
For sure. What grade you teaching?
6th grade.
How's that? I'm pretty sure like a lot of you got like a lot of minority kids. Or
Some,
it's
yeah,
like a little
yeah.
mix?
Some, it's mixed. You know, majority African American, but you know we just mix it and determining where you go. But I love it, man. That's what I went to school for, and so education was always something that was in my heart. You know, I always wanted to see young people do well and succeed. And my thing is, it's not about me now. My time has been gone in terms of that. But whatever I can give back, the knowledge I can impart on these kids, you know, I really think about that, and I make it my business to give them all that I have. And maybe they can change themselves and think differently and be able to become somebody who's productive in society. And that's my biggest reason, man. That's my why. So I love it. It's not always easy because our kids come into the classroom with so many different things going on. A lot of times we're very unaware of, you know, what happens. But you have to develop relationships with them. And what I mean by that is getting to know them, and it starts with letting them know first that you care. When a child knows that you care about them, it may not happen right away, but they'll end up, they'll open up to you before you know it. They'll do anything for you, but they have to know that you care, not just the faking it. They have to see you show up at their ball games. They have to see you help them after school. They have to see you really, care about what they're doing. And once they know that, they'll behave and they'll do what you need them to do. But it's that whole trust issue. You know what I mean? And so that's my biggest thing: developing positive relationships with students. Let them know that I do care. I look back at our kids and I see like a little me, because I was once one of those kids, and so I understand where they come from. Like we literally, the same halls that they walk, we all walk those same halls. And so it hits differently when I can tell them I went to Main Street. I went to J. Paul. I went to Lake City High School. I went to these schools. They know, like, I'm not lying. They see my ring. Okay, he really did. Like, when they see me in the community, they see me at their games. They know it's real. It's not like I'm just telling them this. But when I leave school, I drive somewhere an hour away from here and never see them again to the next day. They see me. They know I'm from here. They see me in the community. They know where I'm at, and so that makes a big difference.
For sure. Like, let's say when some of your kids kind of get out of line, what route do you take in kind of disciplining them?
Well, it just kind of depends, because every child is different. And it goes back to developing relationships with them. When you develop those positive relationships, you know that you have to deal with different kids in different ways. You know what I mean? Like, I say this all the time. I always treat every kid fairly, but I'll never be able to treat every kid the same, because they're all different. There's some kids that I know will be better, or maybe I went to school with their parent or something that I know them, or I know them from coaching, I know them from the community, and so I can deal with them a little bit different. I know they might not be as sensitive, as opposed to a kid who respects me just the same as a great kid, but they don't know me as well, and they're a little more sensitive to certain things. And so I have to watch what I say. I have to watch how I carry myself. I have to watch what I do, and so all of that comes into play. But again, when kids, they'll respect you when they know that you care. And honesty is a big part of that. Be honest with kids. I have to be honest. When I screw up, I'll tell them I screwed up. Now, please forgive me. I'm sorry. But they know that that's authentic, Mr. Myers. Like he was able to say that he screwed up. Like a lot of times they look at us as higher beings. Like we're professionals, but we're not supposed to screw up and all of that. And I'm human just like you are. I messed up. My bad. Let's find a way to fix it. I laugh with them. I joke with them. We have a good time. But the biggest thing is for them to know that their education makes a difference, and that's the top priority. And so we have a good time, but I know when to reel it in.
Bring it
Get
on.
back to business.
Bring it on. And you coach too?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, football, right?
Yeah, I coach football. We have spring training coming back up soon. I also coach track as well, man.
New head coach.
Track coach.
That's what's
Head
up,
coach,
man.
track assistant.
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate you, bro.
The head coach?
Congratulations on that.
For the track team.
Okay.
Assistant football coach.
That's
That's a
man.
blessing, just being able to do that, man.
This
I
is
think
this will be your
everybody-
first year, or you started?
This past year was my first year as an assistant coach under Coach Baker here, new coach.
Coach Baker.
And so I coach defensive backs, and this was my first year as the head track coach. Yes, yeah, not my first year coaching in general. But
Gotcha.
first year as the head
Gotcha.
in both sports. So yeah, it's a blessing, man. I just thank God for everybody who paid.
Do it feel weird, man? Cause
It
you know
does.
we was the athlete, like bro.
Yeah,
I remember. We was the ones that in practice getting cussed out.
Right.
Like,
It
dang,
does. Sometimes I have to pinch myself, like I'm really here and I'm really coaching. I can
You
see
the coach.
myself
Yeah.
being there, being one of the athletes, and
Yeah.
having to take coaching, and like you said, sometimes being yelled at and whatever. But it's all kind of come back full circle, and again, it's a blessing. And so I just try to take every little bit of knowledge I've learned, and whatever I can give back to them, and just I really put my heart and soul into it, because I want to see our kids do well. And I feel like I'm doing them a disservice if I go out there and I have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I go out there and I don't perform up to the ability that I know I'm capable of. And so I can't cheat our kids. I can't cheat any kid.
Well,
But definitely not gonna cheat any kid, you know, who's walking the same streets I am from the same place I'm from, and so that's what helps me to keep it moving every day, man. I want to see our kids do well.
Sure, man.
I know this is random. One question. Track. I know you don't have a little young fella probably call you out, want to race you. I know you done lost to a young fella. Yeah, you done lost to something. You done lost to a young
You didn't do my big bro like that.
Not a young fella at the high school yet.
You still got some speed?
Still got a little bit.
Cut it out.
I can't run like I used to. I'm not as fast as I used to be, man.
Cut it out.
Just natural progression, getting
I think
older.
you're
But
lying.
I still got a little
I think you're
something
lying.
now. But and I tell kids this all the time. See, we were in our prime. We were 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. We were in the primes of our youth.
Mhm.
So it's different when you get a little older now.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Is
tell
it like
them,
your own?
Well, I wouldn't even
my
try.
prime versus your prime, you ain't want that. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
you did
just
hurdles.
keep
You
it
did
real.
hurdles. So you did hurdles.
Yeah, I
You did
did.
4x1.
I was a sprinter. I did the 100, the 200, the 4x1, and the 110 hurdles. And so, 4 events, man. But then again, it's not about me. We have a lot of fun with it. But we do have a lot of talent, a lot of speed, man. These kids are super talented now. Now, I probably can't beat some of them now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 33 and they're spring chickens, 15, 16, 17, 18. But, you know, back in the day, I could have gave them a little run. Now.
What's some of the fastest time you seen in the 100?
Like now?
Yeah. Anybody hitting 10? Like 10, 9, 10?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was like 10-7,
Mhm.
10-8.
Mhm.
Probably fast about 10-6, 10-7, fastest I ever run.
That's
But I was
that's
consistently like
fast. That's fast. Anybody hitting
under
them
11.
10s?
We have a couple
Yeah.
people.
Anybody hitting them 10s fast?
Yeah,
Some
there's some
students-
guys
some
that
students
are
hitting that?
yeah. There's some guys that are right there
Mhm.
with some additional training. I can see them improving that time and definitely getting it. Now we had some kids. We lost a sprinter last year. I won't name him, but he was there. He was definitely there. And so it hurts to lose that kind of talent. But at the same time, I mean, you keep moving, you push forward. But we definitely have some kids who can get there, man. They just got to keep working. It's all about the grind. You know, I feel like if you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. And so I challenge my athletes to get better every day. Find a way you can perfect your craft. You know what I mean? So
For sure. Final thoughts. Final boss.
Wow.
It's too
Let's
early.
talk about it.
Let's not. Thanks for Sean for coming through. So I think that's
yeah, no problem.
I think that's the only final. I don't even have nothing random. That's the only final thought that I have.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Man, you a real positive role model out here, bro. I just want you to keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Man, thank you guys.
You
I'm proud of all
motivate
y'all.
me, man.
You need
Appreciate
any of
you,
us to
man.
come through, talk to the kids, let us know.
Y'all always welcome, man. Y'all always welcome. Anytime, man. Again, like I said, thank y'all for what y'all doing,
Talk to,
man.
I talked to them about cybersecurity. Talk to them.
Oh, anything you got coming up in the in the future that you wanna talk about? Any events? Anything?
Not really, man. Just stay tuned, man. I'll try to keep you guys abreast. Just maybe a couple speaking engagements here, and
For sure.
just continuing to work with our kids. And track season, I'll put that schedule out. So so trying to support the kids. Most of our meets are away, but we're trying to stay local and do some big things. So support when you can. Support all Lake City High School athletics.
I love track.
I keep you guys posted on any speaking engagements or anything like that. But
We'll come through.
we'll see.
For sure. And we definitely gonna get you on here again.
You definitely coming through.
Next time you come
anytime,
through, we
man.
gonna have the whole setup official.
We're gonna do our vision board.
Yeah.
And we're gonna.
Wow,
We're
that's
gonna,
crazy.
we're
Who we
gonna
was talking to? City administrator about the vision board. Yeah. We gotta do that.
I
Yeah.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Snowden.
Shout out to Snowden.
Shout out to Snowden.
Real Snowden.
Only Snowden I acknowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. Tizzy, anything?
I don't have anything. I just feeling real, feeling decent. Feeling real
Birthday weekend?
Birthday fucking weekend.
I'll be 31.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's the last weekend of the rationing, so when everybody get the rations out, I'm about to start doing a whole lot of capping.
No.
I'm about to,
We need your energy in
I ain't gonna lie.
2020.
You said that last year.
I did, but guess what?
And you did.
That 31 is a little different on paper. That 31 is ugly. Let's be honest with you.
Hey,
I can't, no. I can't be out here doing
we
that.
up. We up this weekend. We
That's
up.
it. This is the last time.
Okay.
Last time for right now.
Okay.
What's
A
it?
cat don't care who wins.
Parks.
Anything Parks?
Time to hit it now.
This nigga so
Hey,
disrespectful.
appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Taylor.
Appreciate Rashad coming through.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Once again, RP Kobe.
What do you call me, Parks?
Mamba mentality
Mama mentality.
forever. We out.
More fucking life.
City girl.
Yeah. I'm fuck with you.
Ah.
Yes, I'm going.